All right, so after that long break covering three different topics, if statements, global versus local variables, and movement, we finally have all the ingredients we need to make this rocket move according to our arrow keys. Looking at it now, it actually seems like there's quite a bit of work to see what otherwise, right, with mouse X and mouse Y, was pretty simple to do. And you'll see why it's a little bit more complicated for this as we start writing out the code. So what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to remind us of the goal. We want to be able to press the right arrow key and make the rocket move to the right, left, left, up, up, down, down. So I'm going to comment out this code for the time being, so we don't have the rocket in the way. I'm going to put text command. Now we know that the text command prints a variable, a number, or a string to the screen. So I can say something like get it all on the same line text, and I go hello world, and I can put it at position 200 200. Hit run. It by default is black text on a black background, so we can't see anything. So if I go full white, we should now be able to see hello world. Now we looked at these variables, these global variables called mouse X and mouse Y. Now, these are global variables which are defined by P5.js, and we have access to them throughout our code. There are other global variables as well, one in particular called key code. Now, when I press run now, with this variable, you see 0, and I move my mouse around, nothing really happens. However, I'm going to press the Q button on my keyboard, or the Q key, and 81 comes up. I'm going to press A, 65, S, 83, D, 68. I'm going to go my right arrow key, 39, 37 for the left, 38 for the top, and 40 going down. So what is happening here is that each key on your keyboard is being represented by a numeric value. So A's numeric value is 65. The right key's numeric value is 39. This is a system called ascii, because computers, they work all in numbers, so we need to have a way of mapping letters to numbers. So with that in mind, you should already be getting some ideas and be like, oh, I know if statements, I know how to get things to move across the screen. Could I get something to move across the screen if a particular key code is pressed? Let's see. If I do the following, if I say if key code, and I compare it to something, equals 39, right? So 39, we know is the right key. So I'm going to press A, and I get 65. I press the right key, I get 39. So if my key code is 39, we want it to move to the right. We saw in a previous video that if we want something to move to the right, we increase X. So I can say X is equal to X plus 10, or whatever we want it to be. Now, we need to change these from local variables to global variables, because otherwise, let's see what happens. This might act really funny. If I put this, I need to actually, let's bring back our rocket, because we have commented out. Bring it back. If I put this, it's following. If I press my right key, it's not going to work, because this is constantly resetting the value for X and Y. If I put it outside, if I say let X is equal to, we can start at any random value. Let's say 200, and let Y is equal to 200. And delete this. Let's get rid of the circle from the other lesson as well. And let's hit run. Now, when I hit my right key, it goes off to the right. But it doesn't stop going to the right. It keeps going, because we can see the value of our key code is always 39. And as long as this is running over and over again in infinite loop, so every time this runs, it's going to check, hey, is key code equal to 39? Yes, it is. So run this code. We could make it go to the left by saying else if key code equals, okay, let's find out what our left key code is. I press left and I get 37. So equals 37. And I can say X is equal to X minus 10. Let's run that again. And now if I go hit right, it moves to the right. If I hit left, it starts going to the left. And so I can change the direction that it's moving like that. We can also do it for up and down. So let's put else if key code equals equals. Now, we could carry on finding what the up value is, which is 38. But there's also another shortcut we can use. So there are these constant variables, or another type of global variable, which P5 has defined, but they don't change, that looks like this. Right arrow. So right arrow is a variable name, like kind of P5, the people who wrote this, made a variable that looks like this. Let right arrow is equal to 39. That's what they did. But this is defined somewhere else in code. So we don't have to redefine it. So now all this is saying is if key code is equal to 39, but it's just in a more human readable format. So I can say if key code is equal to left arrow, if key code is equal to up arrow, then if it's going up, we want to decrease our y. So y is equal to y minus 10. And we can say else if key code equals down arrow. We can say y is equal to y plus 10. Let's see how that goes. Run. Okay, I'm going to hit right and moves to the right. I hit left, moves left, up, it goes up, down, it goes down. It's actually pretty satisfying, I won't lie. And we can get it to dance all around the screen. Now, this is moving on its own, right? I stop pressing the key and it keeps moving. But the behavior we're wanting is that it only moves when I press the key. How can we do that? So we need some sort of way of saying, is the key currently pressed, right? Because what happens is that when I press the right, the key code is just storing what was last pressed on the keyboard, which is 39. So it's not changing. So we need some sort of way to say, okay, is the key code 39? And are we currently pressing it? I don't know if you can remember what we did with like the eight-legged thing, like the eight-legged if statement. If it's underwater and it has 8 legs, it's an octopus. Whereas if it's not underwater and it has 8 legs, it's a spider. We need to do something similar here. So I'm going to put another text command over here to print out something called key is pressed. This is another global variable from P5. And I'm going to put this at 200 and 300. And I hit run. And let's get this out the way. Move that to the right. Notice how this is coming out as false. I'm going to press the up key. Do you notice it went true very quickly? Let me hold it down. See how it's true? And I'll press left, true. Down, true. And then it goes false when I release it. So if key is pressed and the key code that we're looking for appropriately, either right, left, or down, then move it in that direction. So what I can do is this. I can say if key is pressed, and then I can take all of these if statements and put them inside of this one. So now what this is saying is only if we're going to get true for key is pressed, if this value over here is true, then apply it. So let's have a look. Run. And now when I hit right, it moves to the right and it stops. I hear left, left stops. If I hold it, it moves. I hold it down, it moves. That's the behavior we're looking for. We can change how much it moves and like change its speed by like increasing the amount we change it by. So if I change this to like 100 every time, this is going to go like boom, oh, boom, and move way more around the screen. And the speed has increased. But that is that. We now have the kind of behavior that we set out to create. A rocket that moves around the screen according to the key presses that we do.